All right. I'm just going to do a brief little mini pod here on budgeting. So, welcome back to the Green Eyed Girl podcast. Let's talk budgets. All right. I see online all these people, the red pill movement yells at these people all the time. And I'll get into the red pill movement too, because I hate them. I hate them very much. I get called a red pillar. I laugh. I don't agree with the red pill people in a lot of things. They diagnose things correctly. But anyway, budgeting. All right, women. I see way too many videos, and a lot of them, I mean, we're in Miami and all of this, etc. But women have this crazy expectation of what men should make to take care of them and maintain their lifestyle. It's unrealistic. It's unrealistic. And part of the reason it's unrealistic is the average salary of a man in America is $55,000 a year. That's really not a bad amount of money. Okay. I started my actual career at that, and I survived just fine. I ate well, I lived well, I still looked pretty, I still had budget for makeup. Okay. It is possible, but it requires some budgeting, some sacrifice, some reality checks. Okay. When you live on a smaller amount of money, you can't buy the high-end products that you see slapped all over Kim Kardashian and everybody else you see on Instagram. I know it's popular. I see all of these girls are like, oh, well, she wears it. I want to. She makes millions of dollars a year. She just does. So she can afford those products. And moreover, the Kardashians, these actors and actresses, they get paid to use these products. That's reality. Okay. You're not getting paid to wear these products. You're being brainwashed by them to want these things. And I'm here to tell you, you don't need high-end products to look beautiful and feel well. Be a little bit more practical in your expectations. Don't ever go into debt to maintain a lifestyle. You have to actually live within your means. And what that means is you take the amount of money that comes into the house, the amount of money that needs to go into savings, all needs, okay? Food, utilities, roof over your head, heat. And then what's left is what you get to decide to use for whatever else. Okay. I always have nice manicure. Okay. They're fun. They're sparkly. I enjoy them. They're great. I make them myself. I do them myself. Okay. I don't go get my nails done ever. And I work in blue collar industry, so I beat my hands up a lot. If I destroy a manicure, it's not a big deal. It costs me, a couple bucks. Grand scheme, a little bit of my time. But I generally enjoy it while I'm listening to a podcast or watching TV or something else. It's just really, it keeps my hands busy. Okay. I don't wear expensive makeup. Nothing I'm wearing is expensive. I'm actually not wearing that much. This lighting is really good. You meet me in person, my skin's pretty clear and I don't use expensive products. And part of it is I eat healthy. When you eat healthy, you don't need as many products. And really all you're doing when you put too much on is damaging your skin anyway. So it doesn't really matter. But from a practicality standpoint, you need to sit down and you need to figure out the amount of money coming in, figure out what it actually takes to meet all of the needs, for us, mortgage, car payments, phone bills, electricity, water, food, Food for the dog, who I don't know if you can hear him hoofing in the background or not, but that's him. His name's Hawk. He's great. He's on Instagram. Feed, water, all of that. And then figure out the products that work for you, that work on your budget. Not hard. Like I said, I've been doing it for a long time. My mom was great. She taught us all how to budget when we were kids. We'd go to the grocery store. She'd say, we have X amount of money. Help me get all the groceries. Here's our list. All right. We're shopping sales. We're looking at stuff. Makes us better at math because we're totaling up as we go. It's really not that hard. One of the biggest things, stop eating out. And stop. It's really more expensive than you comprehend. And unless one of the biggest things that got me, I started doing it in college. I didn't realize I was stopping at Starbucks or McDonald's or whatever. And of course, I don't go to either one of those places anymore. But I was stopping at these places and just getting a coffee here, sandwich there, some fries, blah, blah, blah. 1 month, I just decided to total up all of those receipts. And what I found was shocking. I couldn't believe how much money I had spent. I spent like $100 just on coffee and snacks. There's so many better uses for $100 than coffee and snacks. Okay. So now I'm a meal prepper. I spend a couple hours every Sunday. I make all the breakfast, all the lunch for myself and my husband, plus a casserole that feeds us dinner at least Monday through Thursday. A, it buys me time. B, the food is always good. And we're never hungry. We're never in a position where we don't have the food. So we don't ever have to stop and grab anything and A, risk it tasting gross because most fast food's gross. Bigger thing though is it's cheaper. It's a lot cheaper, especially if you're like me and you shop at places like Sam's Club and get things by the pallet. Chicken breast by the pallet with a vacuum sealer at the house, where it's at. Have a fun budget. Doesn't need to be a lot. Needs to be a little. Ours is not huge, but it's enough for us to go out and have a fun date night once a month. We go have fun. Living on a budget doesn't mean not having fun. When I first started my career, I lived in a cheap apartment, drove a beater car, and I only went out once a month. My budget was small. My budget was like $40, $50. But I always had fun. But you don't need to be going and having fun every day. You don't need to eat out every day. Bad for you anyway. You don't need to drink out every day. Drinks at bars are stupid expensive. Just asinine. And I'm not saying don't ever do it. Just do it within reason and within what amount of money you have. So cook at home, have a fun budget, but be reasonable about it. Okay? Women of the world, you can all sit and you can compete for these top tier men who are going to basically have a harem of women and lots of concubines, and you can just do that and you can have whatever lifestyle you want. If that's the route you choose, fine. It's definitely not something I would choose. You're better off being realistic and figuring out how to stretch the amount of money that's coming into the household. Grow a garden. Actually, really fun. It's the dead of winter, and I'm super impressed that my cabbage is still alive. I can't even believe it's still alive. It's been snowed on, hailed on, everything else, and it's still kicking. It's amazing. Try some different things. Work on a budget. It's going to take a couple months to work it out, but realize realistic expectations. If you want to be a stay-at-home mom and you're making $100,000 right now, you shouldn't expect to find a man that makes $200,000 so that you get to maintain the budget you were living with here, plus whatever he was making. If you want to be able to stay at home, hey, start socking money away. Live on a really reasonable budget and just stack money away. So, A, you'll already be ready to live on the budget. And B, you have a whole stack of money sitting there waiting for when you're staying at home. Have more reasonable expectations. If you're just on Instagram all the time and you're looking at, oh, this lifestyle, it's so cool. I live in a camper in a barn. I live in a camper in a barn. Okay, and I was a city girl for years. It's fantastic. It's weird. Most people look at me and they're like, you live in a camper in a barn. That's a bit bizarre. But I'm very content. I'm very comfortable. I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I get to grow a garden. I have a dog who likes to bark at everything. And I did that because I was used to living on a budget anyway. So when it came time to buy and build and all of that, and I couldn't finish the upstairs because the economy took crap, didn't matter because I had reasonable expectations and I figured out how to make my living space comfortable. Heck, I don't even have a full-fledged podcast studio. This gets set up every time. I put up a behind-the-scenes little reel at one point. Manage some expectations. Figure out how to budget. And do it now while you're making a pile of money. Don't go putting that on a man. You raising your own expectation level is not his problem, okay? It's just not. And look at what your ultimate goals in life are. If it's to be at home, raise kids at home, plan for it now while you're young and making a pile of money. And if you're not making a pile of money, live within your own means and within your own budget. And then when you're married, right? Don't go get in a bunch of debt. Don't look at all these girls on Instagram and be like, oh, I should be able to fly where. Be reasonable. Be reasonable. We save for a vacation every year. It's not fancy. We don't do super fancy things. But a vacation's a vacation. It's about getting away. It's about relaxing. Manage expectations. Learn how to budget. Learn how to purchase. If you want more tips and tricks, hit me up and I'll just keep making these. If you want to dump on me for saying these things because you want to live that big, crazy life, then sister, have at it. I don't think it's what's good for you. I don't think it's what's good for society, but have at it. This is the more reasonable way to go. Good luck.